Everybody, and welcome to From My Mother's Basement, the show that celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am the rumors of my death have been overly exaggerated, Michael. And yes, Samfugu, that is the picture you think it is behind me. But it wasn't printed for me, it was printed for Nikki, because she feels that way sometimes dealing with customers.
I laughed, Michael, that during the intro you had to showcase that, yes, you do have a Doctor Who's. Yes. But see, I'm sorry because I can kind of one-up that, so... Yeah. I kind of figured you...
Oh, you bastard.
Kind of figured you want this Drossel.
Oh, yeah. I'll take the Drossel.
All right. Well, Michael, I know you've been gone for a while because you've been sick and off on doing interesting journeys all over the Ventura areas. What have you been up to?
Well, as you know, I work JX.
Mm-hmm.
So that kept us from doing a show. Actually, JX kept us from doing a few shows. That won't happen next year, guys. I promise. We're going to be killing people if it does. Let's see. Last week was the Ventura Central. What they're called? God, they call it the Central Coast ComicCon 4C.
C4
or C4 rather. But I don't know what these people obviously aren't locals because Central Coast doesn't start till like San Luis Obispo, Santa Maria. But whatever. So we had that last weekend and it went really good. Unfortunately, Nikki and I were working the blowout booth for Hypno. Hypno had two booths. They had their main booth and they had the dollar comic booth, their blowout booth. And Nikki and I were working that one and we worked it all day, both days. And we busted our butts. I've been working cons for damn near 20 years, and I have managed to avoid the con plague that entire time until this event.
So how many people in this picture actually received con plague?
All of them. Every person in that picture is sick right now.
Note to self, not going to Ventura anytime soon.
No. Well, some of us are starting to get over it. Like I'm to the lung butter stage, which is the bronchitis.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki just started coming down with it really bad, but she got smart and went straight to the doctor and got antibiotics. So she's going to rough through it pretty quick. George suffered through it like I suffered through it, as did the others. Actually, I think there's only one person in there who might not have gotten sick, just because she's basically derp. But otherwise, yeah. But it was a good show. I mean, I got to meet somebody I'd always wanted to meet. I hope you pulled this picture down because I posted it on Facebook. I got to meet none other than Shang Tsung himself.
I did see it. I haven't pulled it down. So
Hiroyuki Tagawa. Awesome guy. Nothing like his character. I mean, of course, he's always playing bad guys. And so often the actors who play the bad guys aren't really. Mm-hmm. But really, he's a mellow Hawaiian surfer dude. I mean, he's become Mr. Miyagi, basically.
Yeah.
But he was really cool. It was great to talk to him. Asked him what his favorite movie was, and it was none of his bad guy roles. Like he asked me, there's this film he did for Disney Channel. It's basically about surfing grandfathers, and he was one of the surfing grandfathers. And he was telling me, he's like, that's my favorite role to date, because I've done enough bad guys. What?
Do you remember the title of the?
You'd have to look it up on his IMDb.
I remember seeing a trailer for when I was channel surfing, but I can't remember.
Yeah. He's doing, that was his favorite role.
Nice.
That was cool. I got to talk to him. Alana from Face Off was there. She was a hoot. It was a lot of fun talking with her. Got pictures with her. Nikki got pictures with her. Nikki bought one of her. Actually, I might have it behind me. Hang on. That's too much of a walk. Nikki bought one of her clip things named Betsy. Betsy the Bad Rose. It's cool. Let's see what else happened. Poor Boomer. The guy who played Boomer in the original Star Trek Battlestar Galactica was there. Mm-hmm. This poor guy. Every con I've seen him at, he has looked so depressed and so bitter because his career didn't go very far after Battlestar. But he's sitting there and he's just, and it's like, you charge you to take pics with him, but he was there and he was not a happy camper. Excuse me, but it was really well attended. I spoke with their head of programming, and their numbers, their unique is extremely respectable for a first year event. They're estimating their unique, counting the fact that they did children were free on the Sunday of the event. Their unique is approximately 5,000.
That's very respectable for a first year
For
event.
a first year event, that's incredibly respectful. Oh, hang on. Am I about to? Oh, I just got handed the rose. Okay. What you can't see is buried in there, little vampire teeth, holding the locket.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what Alana made.
Cool.
And Nikki bought. Anyway, so their numbers were approximately 5,000 unique, and it was a really good show. I didn't get to check out the gaming hall, unfortunately, because I was working the booth the whole time.
Right.
But everyone I've talked to said it went pretty well, though they didn't do enough to populate or to promote the various events. So some of the games and stuff there wasn't a lot of promotion for, like the that's weird. Like the Clicks game.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who won the Clicks game won by default because nobody else showed up to play. Basically, this guy won a Batcave
Damn it.
add-on for the freaking Clicks by default because he was the only one who showed for that particular tournament.
That sucks.
Pissed me off.
Because you have your set, I have my set.
And this guy's got one of the cool collector pieces. Yeah. Let's see what else happened. But it's looking really good. I've been the guy who runs their programming and I have been talking, and he wants to talk to me and George and others and get us working with him next year. Hopefully, we'll see what happens there. But that's that for C4. For JX, I don't know what you've said in the shows that I wasn't at, but
all I said on your behalf is that most of the time you were Sadamoto-san's driver.
I was Sadamoto's bitch, yes. And that's okay, because he was actually really cool. I got some cool things out of it, like a visit to Pixar.
Yeah, I'm still insanely jealous of that.
Yeah, I contemplated wearing my Pixar shirt today, but I decided, nah, I don't want to be that big of a dick. But the show was really good. I mean, it did respectable for a first year. A lot of people were saying, including the French company, were saying, oh, we're going to pull 17,000 bodies. That's an unrealistic number. Being totally honest, 17,000 on a first year event, there's no way you're going to pull that realistically. 6 to 7,000 is a really optimistic number. The estimations, this is not official number because I haven't gotten an official number yet, but the ballpark estimated number is over 4K, under 6.
Yeah, I heard about 55.
Yeah, I'm hearing between 4 and 6, which is still for a first year pretty damn good.
We'll see if they come back next year.
Well, the only problem was the people were showing, but they weren't buying.
It was a very
The vendors
anti-buying convention.
Yeah, the vendors now part of this could be the fact that Fanime was 3 months before, Axe was a month before, but there's a big regional difference between Axe and Santa Clara.
Yeah, I mean, Otakon was what, a week or two beforehand, but honestly, that's
It's 3,000 miles
away. So
yeah, it's the other side of the freaking continent. So yeah, it definitely got attention. It definitely made its presence known, and I think that next year, assuming there is a next year, if they take the lessons, if they learn the lessons from this year's event, next year's event will be much better attended. And if they take the lessons from this year's event, it'll flow a lot easier too.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a lot of back end crap that people didn't see.
And they never will.
And they never will. But the show itself ran moderately smooth. I mean, it was incredibly smooth how easy the show itself, once the event started, ran.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just need to learn their lessons, refine that, and fix the pre-con crap, and we'll have ourselves a very good event.
Yeah, it'll be a hell of a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to next year. I mean, it went well enough that I'm willing to give it a second shot.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Anything else? Any exploits you've had over the past few weeks before we move on to the news?
Coughing up lung butter. No. We're talking games and what we've been watching at the end of the set. Yep. So, no, I think I'm good, man.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I haven't had anything nearly as exciting as that. I actually did attempt to go to the Ramen Fest this weekend.
Oh man, we wanted to go and we couldn't.
Try to go.
We're sick.
I went yesterday with Courtney. And we got there like around 2:00, and the line was wrapped around the complex, not the building, but the complex. We stood in line for like a half hour. We were looking at how long it would take probably to get to the front, and probably how crowded it would be inside, and we were thinking, we gave it a shot, but it's not worth it. So we went to Sujita Annex and just got some of our classic comfort food ramen there. So it's the place I've been telling you, but you haven't been to it yet.
Oh, okay.
I will take it I will take you and Nikki to it once you guys are not coughing up several lungs.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Sounds good. Other than that, I've just been watching a crap load of anime, which we'll get to at the end of the show. But let's move on to the news, and let's start off with some movie news. And news about
I'm not
something,
sure what to make of this.
Yeah, it's something that I thought it ended. It had a very long run. It does not need to be expanded. But apparently people like Warner Brothers thinks it needs to continue on. They want to milk it as much as possible. Yes.
I agree and disagree on that statement, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, J.K. Rowling has announced via her Facebook page that she is writing a new Harry Potter spin-off film titled Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. If you guys are big fans, you probably recognize that this is actually one of the books that Harry Potter, keeps with him when he goes to Hogwarts. This is also a selection of short stories that J.K. Rowling wrote as part of a charity event a couple years back. So the film is not going to feature any of the cast that you have grown to love, grown to at least know. Let's call it that. It follows Newt Scamander, the author of the book itself. It's just basically events and experience that this person has had. Now, mind you, this was to take place, I believe, years before the first
I heard
Harry
it was
Potter.
a prequel.
Yeah. It's basically taking place in the same universe, but won't have much in terms of similarities or all that much tie-ins into what the first movie actually had. Here's my question. Does the world need another Harry Potter movie?
Harry Potter movie? No. The universe in which Harry Potter took place? Yes. Because there's a vast potential of creative storytelling on various genres and levels within it. You've got, the world of what people refer to as the Potterverse. Okay, God, that's hard to say. The Potterverse has borderline limitless potential for storytelling with all the fantastical creatures, with the politics alone of the wizard world and the Muggle world. If you could probably make a Friday Night Lights sports movie if you wanted to out of Quidditch.
You could, yes.
There's potentials for a lot of interesting stories here for virtually every genre you want. Now, the question is, are they going to derp it up and go, oh, well, we have to tie this in with the Harry Potter films, so we have to make Dumbledore show up, or we have to make, Harry and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I think that'd be dumb. But now having them maybe pop up periodically, but, you have to do it in such a way that it actually serves the story, not just oh, look, we paid Daniel Radcliffe $10 million to do a 5-second cameo in our film, or Emma Watson's hot now, let's put her over here. The potential for some great storytelling is there. It's a fantastic universe.
I agree. There's a bunch of potential there for great storytelling. For me, however, 7 movies was enough. You covered a
Right,
hell of
7 movies of one
7 movies of
storyline.
one story, but for me, I look at it as okay. This was the main aspect of this whole universe, and it got a huge film franchise out of it, as well as some really great books. Now, there are a number of fan fiction out there and ways to expand the universe. I'm of a belief that you had all the everything that should have been shown in a movie was shown in those 7 Harry Potter movies. Everything it could be expanded upon in book series, book franchises. A fan of expanding the universe via books because the moment you take stuff from the Harry Potter movie franchise and then you try to take a part of the book universe and kind of try to tie that in there, there's going to be some expectations there that limits what you can actually do. If you put it into just a book form, you're not bounded by those. You can go off and say a number of things that don't even have anything to do with the Harry Potter books themselves, but it's still within the same universe. When you have the movie tie-in, you have to relate back to it in one form or another.
Not necessarily.
That's the
So
way
you
I see
mentioned
it.
Hogwarts. You can mention things that make it set in your mind that,
Right.
okay, this is the same universe. Use of terminology will do that, referring to muggles versus wizards. References to powerful political families, be it the Malfoys, be it, whomever. References to the existence of Hogwarts, the new Quidditch season, whatever. There's a possibilities, you can make it set in the universe and not directly refer. You've got the big world event of the Return of the Nameless One,
Right.
but all of that aside, you can reference that, but it'd be more in passing. You can have it on. You can do little nods and newspaper things, stuff like that.
In the earlier books, in the earlier franchises, I would agree with you with that, but it depends on how far deep they go, because if you start going into books 5, 6, and 7 in that same time frame in a different part of the Potter universe, you would be hard pressed to get away with just a mention of something as drastic and serious as that.
2 words. Although they're not books as much, although there's a lot of books for them, but I have 2 words that'll counteract that argument. Star Trek.
I was gonna say Rise Prerogative, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Multiple seasons or multiple stories of different groups of people over different timelines. The only connecting thread was the Enterprise. Okay, fine. That's their connecting thread. But the point is, same universe, different timelines. Or different periods of time. And now, thanks to J.J. Abrams, different timelines. Speaking of which, I finally saw that. I picked up the Into Darkness disc.
Oh, you finally saw it. Okay.
I finally got to see it. We can talk about it later.
Okay, we'll tell you.
But I don't think it's a bad thing, because I'm personally, I think bringing more books forward is a good thing if the books are good. You to quote Roy from the other week's Face Off, you can't polish a turd, okay? If it's a crap story, it's going to be a crap movie.
Actually, Mythbusters proved you can, but that's besides the point.
Exactly. Now, Star Wars, what they're doing going forward with Star Wars that's an area where they could tap into the books,
Okay.
and I wish they would.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to agree to disagree on this, so let's just move on forward. We just got the announcement only a few days ago. Maybe things will change in the near future as pre-production starts moving forward. So, let's talk about Ellen Page, the oh so lovely Ellen Page, and she has been fantastic at everything basically since Juno. I absolutely loved her in Inception. Of course, she also plays Kitty Pryde in the X-Men movies. There has been Go ahead.
She's also been in a video game that's coming out soon.
Yes, I cannot wait for Beyond Two Souls. I cannot wait. The rumor is there's a demo coming out very, very soon.
Looking forward to it.
This will be awesome. She is open to the possibility of Kitty Pryde getting her own spin-off movie in a future.
She's practically begging for it.
I know, but is it going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. But she's going to be kind of busy helping out with another adaptation. And this is actually of a graphic novel series that I only came across very, very recently, and I'm very happy to see this. She's going to be starring in an adaptation of the graphic novels called Queen and Country. And the idea behind this is, it's like a spy action franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna the idea behind Queen and Country, even though it's based on 1970s British TV spy genre,
Mm-hmm.
it is an American comic book. It came out, I forget how many years ago. I forget. But it revolves around basically several male and female secret intelligence service agents during the Cold War. And what's it called? Ellen Page's character is actually a British agent named Tara Chase, which is an SIS operative who works with these members who are called Mindlers, or Mindlers. So, or Minders, my apologies. I'm really interested in seeing how this can happen, how this can work out, because for the movie adaptation, essentially her character's identity was compromised, and essentially all of her vast personal demons spiral way out of control as her trying to get through all of it and trying to survive through the entire ordeal. So it's almost like some people are already calling it a female-born identity, but I don't think it's going to be really that action-packed. It's going to be more of a thriller than anything else.
So we're thinking more along the lines of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
Which I absolutely loved.
Oh, I loved that movie.
Yeah.
I loved the book. I loved the movie. I loved it. But I like the current movie and the old Alec Guinness series.
Mm-hmm. Now, if this actually works out to be profitable and the first movie works out well, the graphic novel has enough story content in there that they can expand this, like the Bourne franchise, into several movies. So this could be yet another springboard for Ellen Page.
Potentially.
It would be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to go back and read the actual graphic novel. I've flipped through it, but I haven't actually sat down and read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to if the story's good in the novel,
mm-hmm.
and they follow the. Sorry, my brain is a little hazy. If the story in the novel is as good as it looks, and they use it as basically a storyboard,
mm-hmm.
which you'll notice a lot of your really good movie adaptations of graphic novels, you can basically go, oh look, that's page 5, panel 6, that's page 9. They use them as basically a pre-built storyboard for you.
Right.
I think it's got the potential to be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read in terms of the actual graphic novel, you got to think, okay, spy agent in the 70s in Britain, she can get into a lot of trouble very easily. And then when those demons actually get out into the public after a major incident in the spy world, if any actress could pull off this character, it has to be Ellen Page. I think she was the perfect role for it.
Her or Emma Watson, who's naturally British.
This is true. I mean, the only other person who could possibly she wouldn't be as good of a fit, but maybe Keira Knightley.
Ooh.
But see,
actually,
she was awesome in Domino.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Kira's a little on the old side for that role.
She is, yeah. She wouldn't.
I mean, she still looks gorgeous. She's absolutely, but I think she's a little old for that particular character.
Mm-hmm. True, but like I said, Ellen Page I think is the best choice if they're going to adapt this.
Looking at it, kind of had a little bit, not really, but a little bit of a Avengers vibe. Mm-hmm. And by Avengers, I don't mean Marvel.
No. You're talking about the classic British TV series.
John Steed, Emma Peel Avengers.
Yes. It could be good.
With a esoteric, magical element, if you will. Spirit, paranormal, that's it.
There you go.
Paranormal element.
So we have no more information about when this has come out or what the production time frame is. We just know that she's going to be playing the main character for this adaptation. So I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to some science news, some tech news. You guys may have heard a little bit of news about a little tiny probe that we launched a little while ago, like 1977, just a little while ago. I'm talking about NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft. And
Voyager.
Yes, Voyager. For those of you who've seen the original Star Trek
motion picture.
Yes. God, that was a trippy movie.
I loved it.
here's actually some mind-blowing news. It has been announced that Voyager 1 has officially entered interstellar space. Now, what does that mean? Try to wrap your mind around this.
It's not hard to wrap your mind around.
19 billion kilometers away from the sun. It's outside of the influence of our sun now.
It made literal escape velocity.
It still blows my mind. I mean, go ahead.
And it's still transmitting.
Yeah.
That's the part that's so cool. It's still transmitting.
You got to give massive props to the NASA scientists and engineers who designed this thing way back then.
Yeah, damn near 40 years later.
Because look at stuff we tried to send to Mars. Only 40% of everything we've sent there has actually worked. This thing was built in the 70s.
It also crashed.
Well, this is true. Which I still blame the engineers.
Okay.
This thing is still going and still sending us information. Who knows what it's going to, what's it called? Give us information in, say, 20 or 30 years' time if it's still transmitting at that in that time frame. I can only imagine. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, there are other satellites we've sent out to try to explore our solar system. None as far as Voyager 1. I believe Voyager 2, I believe it's what it's called, is trying to catch up to Voyager 1. It's still about 2 billion miles behind, so...
Right. Well, and then there are other ones we've launched that will eventually make that trek, but that's sort of like the leader of the pack at the moment.
I need to figure out how long it takes for Voyager 1, where it's at right now, to transmit something, and how long it takes to be received here on Earth. I
actually read that somewhere. It's on the order of days.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much. Still working. It's still
because it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and 15 odd minutes to an hour and a half from Earth to Mars, and then multiply that exponentially from there. It's on the order of days. I've been told.
I can yeah. But yeah, piece of technology built in the 70s is now 19 billion kilometers away from Earth and still working. And yet we cannot get phones to work beyond 18 months here on Earth. I do not understand this. Which is possibly why Apple keeps on releasing new phones every single year. Pointed out...
Are we there? Well, yes. Okay. As Nystar so eloquently pointed out in the chat room, it's got the nuclear Duracell. It's... Yeah, we could get stuff that could last that freaking long, but we'd be irradiated. It would outlast us.
Good point.
Easily.
Good point. All right. Well, let's move on. I guess you didn't hear the transition. That's fine. We had a little lag in Skype right there.
Sorry about that.
No worries. But let's talk about technology here on Earth. And,
yes.
About Apple.
Yes, Apple.
Yes, Apple. Of course, everybody who's watching it last week when Apple made the announcement
is waiting for Steve Jobs to spin in his grave.
Yeah, well, I think he actually... This is one of his final projects he had hands in before he passed away.
The plastic? I don't think so.
The 5S. I'm not talking about the 5C. Yes. Apple decided to release not one, but two brand new models, which are kind of interesting. Because one, you have the 5C, which is essentially...
One's a step backwards, one's a step forward.
Well, not really a step backwards. This one has basically the same internal parts as the 5 that's out right now, just with the plastic covering. It's kind of funny how they had to spin it. They had Johnny Ive, out there, white background, no collar shirt, going, "It's remarkably plastic." I'm like, yes, I can see that. Plastic is bad. But the
face is still Gorilla Glass, right?
The face is still Gorilla Glass, yes. I mean, there's a few things where they engineered some parts so there's no longer as many seams as there were on the original 5 model. Okay, that makes no sense to me, or makes no difference to me whatsoever.
It doesn't break my heart. Yeah,
exactly. But there, of course, they had to have their bigger, higher quality, or i.e. more expensive model, and of course that is the 5S. Yes, it has faster processor. It's the first time that it's actually running 64-bit. Everything else, surprisingly, is actually still running 32-bit. Android itself, on most devices, are still running 32-bit. Even the ones that are like using the Snapdragon quad core are still running 32-bit, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, the A7 chip in the 5S is actually running 64-bit. No idea how much RAM is actually inside of it. We won't find that out until it comes out and someone breaks it apart. Which always happens anyway, so.
Or jailbreaks it and does a system check. By the way, Nightstar just did the math and says it's 17 hours for the signal to reach Voyager.
Wow, crazy.
So I was wrong. It's less than a day. But it's getting there.
It is getting there.
As for the 5S, okay, ooh, you know.
They did have a new bit of technology, though.
Mm-hmm.
Notice the home button. Notice it doesn't have that little square icon in the middle.
Yeah.
It's because that is now a fingerprint sensor.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so you can actually secure your phone, not with just a password, but also with your thumbprint.
Say hello to the NSA's brand new fingerprint database.
Oh, the jokes have already run rampant on it.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Now, Apple's already made the announcement that it's stored locally on the A7 processor. It's never uploaded onto any server. It's not uploaded on iCloud. We won't be able to verify that until the iPhone 5S comes out, which is next Friday. I'm sure people will be just tracking this thing left,
well, you
right,
know
and
somebody's
center.
going to tear it apart and see what's what.
But it's like, okay, cool, yeah, you have fingerprints on there. I'm sure people at IBM and Lenovo are like, that's nice. We've had this for a long time, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's coming out. You can get the 5C, I think, for $99 on contract. And the 5S is like, I think it starts at $249, $299, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, so.
I just know that I'm not getting one.
I know you're going to go to Android, but the 5S will probably be my next phone, so.
More power to you.
Yes, I know.
I mean, I'm happy with my 4S. It's a good phone. It's just,
well, you don't have to worry about moving over to Android very soon, because starting in 3 days, you can download iOS 7, which, when you look at it, it's Android.
It's Android without the benefits of Android.
For those of you who like Android but want to keep the pure iOS experience, this is what you want. Yeah, I know, fanboy, shut up. All right, moving on to actually some really cool news from actually, let's go to Gigabyte real quick. Because Gigabyte is a hardware manufacturer. I actually I've used some of their stuff in the past, and they've actually showcased their new PC gaming system. It's called the Bricks.
Oh, yes.
Which is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for comparison, there's the size of an Xbox 360 controller. This thing is tiny, but by no means is it underpowered. Yeah. I mean, this thing will work with Core i7s. It has what's called an HDMI port. It has a mini display port, 4 USB 3.0 slots, built-in Bluetooth 4.0, gigabit Ethernet, built-in Wi-Fi. I mean, the thing's a nice little beast.
Right. What's its internal? It's solid-state drive, isn't it?
The mobile state, the mini SATA drives, yeah. So you can buy those. I mean, if you're looking for just a basic HTPC or basic gaming PC, you can get like a 64 gig mSATA for like $60, $70. So that's quite nice. The price is a little on the high side. If you're looking for just as an HTPC box, it's $500. But the way I look at it, this is basically Steam box before Valve brings out the Steam box. Because if you buy one of these, you can actually tie it in to a new beta feature that Steam's going to be releasing very soon. And that's actually called Steam Family Sharing. Mm-hmm. And this beta, what you can do, you can finally share games with unique saves to your friends and family in a select group of people. So Steam does suggest close friends and family members, but honestly, you can send it out to whoever you want. You can have up to 10 people on a shared account, and the way it works is that users request access to a friend's library, and once they're authorized, they'll have access to everything that you have, complete with the ability to earn your own Steam achievements and save their own progress in the cloud. I kind of look at this going, about time?
Yeah, but... No, yeah, it's about time. There's no but about it. It is about time. But they're also getting ready to launch. It's the next step, you know. I mean, for all we know, they may decide to look at the Gigabox Bricks and say, "Hey, that's going to be our Steam box."
Mm-hmm.
We don't know yet.
True.
It's. Will I use the family plan thing or family sharing? Probably not.
Me? Yes, I have.
Why? Who am I going to share it with? It's just going to be me playing it.
No, all my friends. I put them all together. We'll all get into a shared account, with our own individual accounts, and say, because like my friends, they've downloaded and played the Payday 2, which I haven't bought yet, and I want to play it. So I'll ask them, do I have permission to play it on your account? Okay, sure, and I can download and play it without paying for it, and vice versa. Like I have Skullgirls on mine, they might want to play, so just ideas.
Yeah, okay. But that has the potential to get ugly really quick.
It does have potential to get ugly. I'm sure there's a whole lot of fine print that has yet to be released. I'm sure when the beta finally opens, I'm going to go through the terms of agreement with
the EULA.
With a fine-tooth comb to try to figure out what what you can and cannot do.
Exploits are there?
Yeah, exactly. But it just, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Most people, you know, like Michael, you said, you probably won't be using it. Just like, you know, how often do you use Siri on your iPhone?
Whenever I want a good laugh. I don't actually use Siri proper. Most of what I use the Siri functionality for is voice speech to text.
Okay.
So I'll, like, if I'm at a stoplight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, let's not even go there. If I'm stopped somewhere safely in my car and I don't want to take the time to fat finger texting somebody, I will just hit the little microphone button, say what I want to say, make sure it says pretty much what I said, and then I'll send it on its way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll pull back into traffic and go driving down the road. Yeah.
Nice covery.
Thank you.
Nice cover.
I won't text while driving, really. I won't do the thumb thing especially. Hell no.
Now,
but I'll talk. I'm willing to talk to my phone. But that's pretty much all I use Siri for. And
true.
But Microsoft's making life interesting.
Yeah, because we've known that, you know, Google's been working on their own version of Siri, and it's been out for a while. Google Now, you can use it on several devices. But what about Microsoft? I mean, yes, they just spent several $1 billion buying Nokia outright, so they have their own hardware manufacturer. So you might as well completely jump into the voice dictation arena yourself. So Microsoft is making their own voice dictation software, and what's interesting is what they're going to call it.
Are you at all surprised that this is what
Not
they're
at all.
calling it,
It's actually kind of cool. I give them props on it.
As long as the voice is the same.
It has to be Jen Taylor. Of course, we're talking about, it's going to be called Cortana, based on the AI from the classic Halo franchise.
Please tell me they're going to include the Avatar.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Oh, come on, that would be epic. Mm-hmm. You know, the geek fanboys are going to be like, yeah! that you know, if they make it Cortana and they name it Cortana, make it sound like Cortana, and if they can even slightly find a way to incorporate her visual in there,
mm-hmm.
you know, all the Xbox and Halo fanboys are going to eat it up.
Jump over to Windows Phone.
Yeah. Well, a large percentage of them would, because let's be honest, there are fanboys who would do that.
This is true.
I'm not one of them, but
hell, I remember the world's biggest Zune fanboy had the Zune logo tattooed on his arm for a while.
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, there's actually early beta versions of this that's already leaked. It's been shown on several Lumia phones, called Z Cortana, and Microsoft probably won't introduce Cortana publicly until they feel they can provide something entirely unique. How do you define something as entirely unique as speech to text, dictation, understanding, dialect?
Level of complexity, what it'll do, what you can do with it, the fact that it's also going to be going into the Xbox One and the Surface.
Good point.
I mean, it's effectively system automation. I mean, Siri, you can do a limited amount of it. With Siri, you can say, you know, Siri launch XYZ. But if they totally automate this thing,
Cortana, can you contact Master Chief for me? No.
Cortana, mount that stripper pole. I mean, I don't know. What are they going to do with it?
I see. Okay, Microsoft, cool. Props to you. You're trying to jump into the same field as everyone else right now. Good for you.
Doesn't Microsoft own Dragon?
I believe they do own Dragon, or at least a share in it.
Right, and if I recall correctly, Dragon is the ultimate speech-to-text going right now. If they can incorporate that technology into Cortana, Siri, as good as Siri sometimes is, if you speak clearly and enunciate perfectly, she still gets shit wrong.
Yes, she does.
If they can incorporate the Dragon technology into Cortana, and get a higher accuracy rating than Siri does, and if they can by some miracle of fate nail the multilingual barrier, because nothing's as funny as watching a Japanese person speaking Japanese trying to speak to Siri. There are whole YouTube videos dedicated to that shit.
Yes, there are.
And they're hilarious. They're just screaming at their phones because they're so pissed off at it.
I think it all depends on the server side. I mean, like I said, if they actually own Dragon, they have the dictation software down pat. They just need to work on the server side, provide something. It doesn't have to be wholly universal and new. It just has to work.
Exactly. It has to work, and they have to condense the kernel, because you've got to take that technology and meld it to the point where it fits in a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Microsoft's got the capability of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to stop shooting themselves in the foot on other projects.
True. It's like they have to be able to
Windows 8. Excuse me.
It's like they have to fit all of Watson, IBM's Watson, into your phone.
Considering how old Watson is, it's not that hard, dude.
Yeah, true. All right, let's move on then.
My iPhone could run the entire NASA space race.
This is true. Yes. All right, let's talk about something we haven't talked about in a while. Comics. I know last week I was
gonna throw toys in there too, but go ahead.
Okay. Last week I briefly mentioned, I guess some people are calling it Batwoman Gate. It's really stupid.
Oh God,
yeah.
Yes.
So DC, ever since they started the New 52, they've wanted to pretty keep an iron fist on where everything goes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool because I've been a fan of Batwoman since the New 52 started. Sorry, not New 52. Yeah, New 52. Sorry, when the new Batwoman started, the new issues, and they got to this scene where Batwoman Kate Kane proposes to her fiance Maggie Sawyer. I was like, okay, cool. This wasn't forced on it. This actually felt natural. It was a natural progression in the relationship.
Yeah, her sexuality wasn't a big deal.
Exactly. It worked out well. So you're thinking, okay, cool. DC is going to have this massive wedding reception and whatnot and see what happens. Or maybe the Joker will come in and destroy it. Who knows? But DC's saying, no, not a chance. You can't do this. It has gotten to the point where even the co-writers of the series, J.H. Williams III and W. Hayden Blackman, have actually quit the series in protest over this.
Wow.
And DC has been in full recover mode since then. One of their co-publishers, Dan DiDio, tried to explain the situation at the Baltimore ComicCon, and he said, they put on a cape and cowl for a reason. They're committed to defending others at the sacrifice of all their own personal instincts. That's something we reinforce. If you look at every one of the characters in the Batman family, their personal lives kind of suck. Tim Drake, Barbara Gordon, Kathy Kane. It's wonderful that they try to establish personal lives, but it's also just as important that they put it aside as they know what they are accomplishing as the hero takes precedence over everything else. That is our mandate, that is our edict, and that is our stand with our characters. And I call bullshit.
Me too. And I'll tell you how and exactly why, though it's not a DC character that does it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Marvel's got characters that are gay. Marvel's got characters that are married. Let's see, Storm and Black Panther, Beast. What other? They've got a couple other gay characters.
The new Green Lantern is gay and already has a husband.
Yeah, I mean,
the Marvel side we're going to stay away from because they have their own thing and they seem.
Well, yeah, Marvel's got their own issues, but the idea of the cape takes over their personal lives, bullshit.
The fact that
only if you write it that way.
The fact that they must suffer nonstop. No, you give them some hope. You give them a backstory.
So what is
then
this,
you take away the hope by killing them off or something like that. You don't
what is
just
this, DC Madoka Magica? What? Being a superhero is pain? Is the head of DC now Cube? What's going on?
No, the head of DC is a masochist, but you know. Oh, yeah.
I think it's stupid, honestly.
It's completely stupid.
They're making a mountain out of a freaking molehill.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's like, okay, you know what, though? You could turn that into, something that's used against her. I mean, how many times has Lois been used against Superman?
Yeah.
How many times has
or look at the
Catwoman been used against Batman?
what was the one that was really hated by fans? Spider-Man. Spider-Man's marriage to Mary Jane, and then erased it all with a single issue called One More Day, just to make the character single again, so he can be more relatable to the readers. I'm like, what the hell is that all about?
Well, yeah, they retcon Spidey. Yeah, and then what do they do? And then later on, what do they do to totally screw over Spider-Man? Oh, I don't know. Let's make him turn him into frickin' Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Though there's a rumor he may be coming back.
I've read the rumors about that too. Yes. But
well, it's making the comic scene circuit too. So
I just look at this going, okay, DiDio and the rest of the DC higher-ups may believe that they're on the right path. They're doing the right thing for their own character's sake. I call complete bullshit on that. You may think you're doing the right thing, but in reality, you're sticking to some very old and very outdated thought processes on how these characters should act. You restarted the entire DC universe, and you're expecting to keep to the old style.
Well,
I mean,
playing devil's advocate here, at the end of the day, the writers don't own the characters. The company owns the characters.
True.
At the end of the day, if the powers that be do not like where a character is going, the powers that be have the power to say,
yeah,
we're not going to do it. Now, that being said, they're probably going to piss off and alienate a large number of their audience. They're going to damage sales on a book that's already not doing that well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Batwoman is doing respectably, but it's not, it's not pulling in like, say, X-Men or Batman.
Yeah.
It's they're potentially deliberately gimping one of their titles.
I look at how DC is going to handle this. Yes, it's perfectly okay for a 12-year-old boy, Damian Wayne, to be shot to death and die in his father's arms, but no lesbian can actually get married. But let's move on to another.
Okay, now you're moving into politics.
Yeah, I know. But let's talk about another issue with DC real quick. Yay! Harley Quinn's getting her own series. It's a dedicated
hope they have a good writer this time.
Series. What's up?
Hope they get a good writer this time.
They announced it. I forget who it is. My apologies. But
it'd be cool if it was Scott Lobdell.
Sadly, it's not. I know for a fact it's not Lobdell.
It would have been awesome if it was Scott.
God, Scott doing Harley Quinn. That'd be crazy.
That'd be epic.
But they wanted to create some hype for this new series. So for issue 0, DC Comics actually was hosting a contest where if you send in your artwork featuring Harley Quinn doing specific things, you may be picked to draw a single full page of issue 0 for the new series. Let me get into what you actually will be doing. And to help out with that, I actually have one entry right here. This was actually entered by one artist, Philip M. Jackson. This is like his full page bit. We're going to go through it piece by piece. The first bit you have right here is, I'm going to read this right off the news. Panel 1. Harley is on top of a building holding a large detached cell phone tower in her hands as lightning is striking just about everywhere except her tower. She's looking at us like she cannot believe what she is doing. Beside herself, not happy. Panel 2. Harley is sitting in an alligator pond on a little island with a suit of raw chicken on, rolling her eyes like once again she cannot believe where she's found herself. The alligators are ignoring her. Panel 3. Harley is sitting in an open whale's mouth, tickling the inside of the whale's mouth with a feather. She's ecstatic and happy, like this is the most fun ever. And then here's the fourth one that put them in massive hot water. Panel 4 features Harley sitting naked in a bathtub with toasters, blow jars, blenders, appliances all dangling above the bathtub, and she has the cord that will release them all. We are watching the moment before the inevitable death. Her expression is one of, oh well, I guess that's it for me, and she has resigned herself to the moment that it is going to happen. And this is the one where people went ape shit over. So Michael, before I get to my tirade, what's your thoughts on it?
What the fuck? We're past the G line, so
yeah.
I don't know what the hell these people are thinking. I mean, everything's gone dark and edgy, and you can be dark and edgy without being dark and edgy, which is unfortunately what these people are doing. I don't know what their plan is. I don't want to.
It was kind of funny to see Jim Lee actually reach out to the fans via Twitter and basically try to say it was also to be tongue-in-cheek, like a la like Tex Avery style. I'm like, then you should have said that in the instructions. But they never did.
Especially as dark and edgy as things like the other titles Harley's been in. Like Harley's in Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
That shit, while funny, has some funny moments, is dark.
Yes.
You get people who are used to seeing Harley in Suicide Squad, and then you hand them all of that?
Mm-hmm. And having this contest is one thing. Having this contest when it's also the same month for the
single issue villains?
No. It's the month of recognition for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. They did this in the same month as this, and people lost it.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. It was just timing there. It just wasn't really the best.
Oh, it's either brilliant or mega derp, one of the two.
So the DC's come out and actually apologized, saying this is not about suicide. Maybe we could have offered this differently. Her entire story is cartoony and always over the top in tone. So we thought this was okay. So I thought they were apologizing to all the people who were offended. But they're not stopping or modifying the contest in any way. So yeah. DC's having a great month, aren't they?
Oh yeah. They're just, oh boy.
Now that being said, I'm still looking forward to what the new Harley Quinn.
Oh, and I will read it and I will buy it, and
let's just hope DC learns their lesson.
Fan, but yeah, let's hope DC pulls their head out of their ass.
Yes. Real quick before we wrap this up and get to our usual what we're watching, some information for all you out there who could not get tickets to BlizzCon, which I'm right here. I couldn't get in. I was like 4,000th in line, even though
I don't know anybody who works there anymore, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get in either.
Sadly, one of our friends pinged me after I said I couldn't get in. He's like, yeah, I was 256. I got it, no problem. I was like, I could punch my monitor right now if it would only go through the internet and hit you too.
Yeah, really.
But no need to fear, because BlizzCon virtual tickets are now on sale. This will actually get you access to all of the streams, which includes all the panels and the main events that are taking place at the Anaheim Convention Center on November 8th and 9th. It is $40, so... But given the price that you're saving compared to getting a hotel, paying for an actual BlizzCon ticket...
You still get the pet?
Doesn't say. So...
Because if I remember correctly, the last one, you still got the pet.
Well, there will be virtual swag bag included. They hadn't said what's going to be in it, but there's going to be a virtual swag bag.
I'm actually going for the virtual ticket. I mean, I enjoyed going to the last one physically, and I absolutely loved... seeing Foo Fighters live.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious of that.
I'm kind of upset that I'm not going to go this year, but $40 for the streams of the contest or of the content and whatnot might actually be pretty cool, because there is some, for those who are into the Blizzard universes, there's some really good info there.
I mean, aside from the concerts and the latest information about World of Warcraft, just the StarCraft 2 championship that happens there. Oh
man, that is majorly awesome.
So cool.
I mean,
I actually prefer the StarCraft championship over the WoW tournament. So. Oh
yeah. No, the StarCraft. It's amazing how. I mean, I'm normally not a sports fan of any kind, but I got into watching. I mean, Nikki, who hates sports, was getting a kick out of watching the StarCraft finals because we were sitting there waiting for We were in the audience area waiting for the Foo Fighters concert, and they were streaming the contest on the screens in the auditorium area. Oh man, that was an epic win.
It was. I was watching
this going, oh my god! And I had to explain to Nikki what the various pieces were, and then she got it. She's like, oh wow, okay, cool. And we both got into it really hardcore.
Nice.
So yeah, that I'm looking forward to.
So you guys can go pick that up. Go to Blizzard.com, and you can get the information to purchase your own virtual ticket.
Definitely do. And hopefully they'll announce what Project Titan is finally.
Consider they recently announced they pushed the reset button on the entire project. I doubt it.
I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Blizzard. I really do. But
they're on Valve time.
Well, yeah, and they always have been, and that's one of the things I actually respect about them. Because usually, if you wait for, they're not going to push it out before they feel it's ready. I mean, aren't they one of the groups that's trying to go private again?
Are they?
Of the Activision groups?
No, they bought themselves out.
Bought themselves out, so they're private again.
Yeah, they're private again.
So that's good. I think that's a very good thing.
But we can keep on talking about Blizzard the entire night. But before we do so, Michael, what have you been watching?
There's actually one thing we haven't talked about that people need to talk about, or at least you need to talk about as soon as you can afford it. Final Fantasy XIV is live, and it's worth playing.
Yes, it is. I played the beta. It was an absolute blast.
I got into the last beta. I got into the last beta. I got into the game. Now, I played the original first one, and it sucked ass. It was absolutely gorgeous, very pretty. Final Fantasy games are always pretty. But the gameplay was horrible. They shut it down, shut everybody down, reworked the storyline from ground zero, did a lot of alterations to the assets, the gameplay, and the systems, and brought it back. It's worth playing, like to the point where I actually am subscribing. As soon as my 43 days are up, I'm subscribing.
Good man.
I get 43 days because I've got the 15 from being on one of the original peeps. And I get 30 for the PS3 version that I bought so I can play it on my PS3. I don't really like it on the PS3 though. It's the scheme is kludgy to me. But playing it on the keyboard and mouse, it plays really well. The quests are fun. I actually enjoy myself, and it's actually Final Fantasy XI was incredibly grindtastic. I mean, every Final Fantasy game's grindtastic to an extent.
Right.
But Final Fantasy XI raised it to a fine art.
This is true.
You could not successfully get anywhere in the game past 10th level solo. It was impossible.
Good point.
This one you can. In fact, theoretically, you could go, if you went just as a crafting character, you could go all the way to max level in all the crafting characters and never swing a sword once.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're catering to a large group of people. It's absolutely gorgeous. Jason, I realize your finances are El Scrudo at the moment, but as soon as they're not El Scrudo, you need to get in the game.
That's the hope, and that's the plan.
Because we have our guild, and you will be joining our guild, and I will announce what the guild name is after we've got it formally set up.
Works for me.
So you have to get into that.
I will.
Also, before we go to cartoons, or what we've been watching, I apologize.
Which is cartoons.
Let's
not be coy about that.
Something I picked up as a result of working at the C4 convention is Hasbro is releasing what they're calling the black box edition of Star Wars toys.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. So give you an example of what I'm talking about here. Okay, your standard Star Wars, say astromech droid. Okay. Now this is slightly modified because this is one I built at Disneyland, but they still built on the same basic model. It's about that big. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the R2 unit.
Really?
Yeah. This thing's like easily half again as tall as your standard Star Wars figure. Legs bend. The bottom screws down.
Nice.
So that you can roll them around in that mode. The little side doors open up, and it's got the little arms that stick out on both sides.
So it's nicely detailed and articulated.
And it comes with little inserts that you can stick in the little head ports.
Nice.
It's about $20 a figure, but it's really well built, well painted, well I mean, it's really cool. I'm a big Astromech fan anyway. You know that.
This is true. Yes.
But so yeah, they got that. That is out now. I picked up the R2. They've also got Sand Trooper, Rebel. I don't know if it's supposed to be Luke as an X-wing pilot or just a generic X-wing pilot.
Okay.
And I think a Sandman. I'm not positive on that one. But there are other characters coming. It's really cool. It's more than a regular Star Wars figure, but the quality, the craftsmanship, it's all there. It's completely worth it. So if you guys come across it and you're into Star Wars figures at all and you want to collect them, whether to play with them or stick them on a wall, whatever, they're completely worth the price. Go get them. I love this thing. Is awesome. It's great.
Cool.
Now we can go on to what we were watching.
Yet more stuff for me to buy with non-existent money.
I am an enabler too.
All right. What cartoons have you been watching?
I finally finished Justice League Unlimited.
Very nice. See what happens when you get sick for a week?
Yeah, I get sick for a week. That is one thing that happened while I was sick, is I caught up on a lot of crap. I finally finished JLU. I'm somewhat satisfied with how it ended. I think they could have gone further. I think that there are obviously a great many more stories to tell. I want to see how much of it they carried over into Young Justice and Young Justice Invasion.
Okay.
The fact that they managed to even tie Warner Brothers effectively with JLU tied their entire superhero universe together, because they tied in Batman Beyond.
Nice.
They explained a lot of stuff. And so all of these things, all the universes meld, if you will. Now I want to find and start watching Young Justice and see if the writing carries through. Let's see, what else did I finish? I think those are the big ones for me.
Okay.
There's probably some I'm missing, but yeah, those are the big ones for me. What about you, dude? What have you been watching?
Because I've been caught up on all the current anime series that I've been following for a while, like Attack on Titan, Free, Dog and Scissors.
I love that show. That show's hilarious.
Gatchaman Crowds, which actually got really good.
Did it?
Like
the first one looked
really good action, but honestly, after you start watching it a while, you notice there's this underlying tone of like, what does it truly mean to be a hero? And it's like, okay, this is a little deeper than I expected.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Because it struck me as bubblegum stupid.
Oh yeah, the first part, it's Pinkie Pie if she was a Gatchaman. I mean,
yeah, pretty much Pinkie Pie Gatchaman. Yeah, that's very fitting.
Yes. So I decided to expand into other series. Well, I did watch Watamote. I'm caught up on that. That's always funny as hell.
Still stuck.
But I ended up watching a couple series that I put on the back burner, thinking, okay, I'll get to it eventually, or I didn't like the first episode. Like I watched the new Rosen Maiden, and I'm caught up to episode 11, and I still have no freaking clue what's going on. Like
I tried getting into Rosen Maiden when it first came out.
It's one of those. I think I have to really watch the first series to figure out what the hell was going on in this one.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe I was gonna have to go dose up on my codeine cough syrup to watch it.
Well, it's not really a spoiler because it's given away in the summary. Basically, in the first series, the main kid gets a little letter, says, "Will you wind it? Will you not wind it?" He circles, he will wind it, and then it goes off on this journey with all the dolls. This new series, it goes back to the exact same moment, but the kid circles he won't, and it fast forward till he's in college and has no goal in life. And apparently, for some reason, that kid from the world that chose to wind is in trouble and in trying to contact himself from the past. It's confusing as all hell. So you guys can watch that.
Well, they're playing the time game.
They are playing the time game. Time game and alternate universe game. I'm not going to say more than that.
Spacey, wacy, timey-wimey.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
the 50th anniversary. Yeah, I know. It's coming up soon.
Not soon enough.
This is true. The new Fate series. The Fate Kylid Liner Prisma Ilya. Basically, magical girl Ilya.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode. Wasn't impressed. Decided, I got nothing else to do right now. I'll give it 5 episodes. My standard.
Right.
And I get to episode 5. And holy shit, does things get good.
Okay.
I was like, okay, and now I'm hooked. It just took 5 episodes to me to get into it.
Okay.
And the last one I'll talk about, because I've seen several others since then, is Love Lab.
Oh god.
Love Lab is it is so cute and sugary. It's like Snow Fairy Sugar in terms of that level of saccharine. It's almost at that level of like almost
I hated
unbearable.
Snow Fairy Sugar.
I know.
Oh my god, I hated that show.
I could not eat waffles for 6 months after watching that series.
Oh, you had to compare it to Tiny Snow Fairy Sugar.
But it gets that cute sometimes. It's so overly saccharine. Yet I'm still watching it.
Couldn't you compare it to like Digicarrot? At least I enjoyed Digicarrot.
Okay. The idea behind Love Lab is it's an all-girls school, and the main protagonist wants to be in love, but she's kind of like an otaku, and the only way she knows how to fall in love is all the anime cliches, like bumping into people while running to school with a piece of toast in your mouth, all the experiences of being in love, which is all the
what is the
cliche
whole
moments.
toast in your mouth thing?
I don't understand it, but some other characters apparently run into the girl, or they have similar ideas, and they create this little club to practice falling in love.
Oh no.
And it's going through all the, like, every single anime love cliche thing you can think of is gone through in this series.
So you're telling me it's going to hit my smarm button?
Oh yeah, oh my god. Which is probably why I'm still watching it, because even though it's so saccharine, it's so cute, I'm still watching it.
Oh my god. I'm going to hate you for this, aren't I?
Hey, it's not going to be as painful as Nakaimo. My sister is among them.
I actually liked Nakaimo. Despite myself, I liked Nakaimo. I wanted to hate Nakaimo so bad. I tried to hate Nakaimo, and I couldn't. I ended up getting into it, you bastard.
And it's out on Blu-ray now.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Okay, yeah, for those of you to back up, the series is called Love Lab. You can find it on Crunchyroll. It's streaming right now. There's about 10 episodes out available right now. Go watch it, and you'll completely understand what I'm talking about. And that's all I'm going to talk about for what I've been watching. That and playing ridiculous amount of time playing Project Diva F.
Yeah, I got it. I've been playing it. I unlocked a few songs, and it's weird. I go through it the first time, get it wrong. Go through it the second time, get it right. I haven't gotten A's on anything yet, because I think there's a minor lag in my controllers.
You can adjust that.
Yeah, I know, but we need a calibration thing.
Their calibration thing is controlled in milliseconds.
You have to mentally
Yeah.
calculate it. So I have to subtract. I have to either subtract a couple or add a couple. But the game is fun. I'm looking for. I bought the character pack too.
There's a character pack out? I knew it was talked of that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Upon release, there was a character pack. The one with the gray hair and the red eyes and the gray outfit. She's in it.
Okay.
Two other characters are in it.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at that.
The one with
then.
the red pigtails.
Oh, okay.
And not Ia. I forget who the other one is, but they're in the figure packs, and it's only like $2. It's only like I think it's like maybe $3 on PSN.
What series? I'm sorry. What level are you on?
I'm still going through the easies.
Through the easies. Okay.
Yeah, I only picked it up this weekend. So
okay, I will say this.
I got fairly far on codeine. So
that's good. That's impressive. The reason I'm going to say this is the difficulty level. Like, there's no really like curve.
No,
it's literally easy. The difference between easy and normal is pretty severe. Normal to hard is even worse than that, and normal to expert, which I'm trying to get through right now, kills me in 4 seconds.
Okay. I've unlocked Abandonment, which is actually pretty fun.
My favorite song.
It's not my favorite, but it's good. But I haven't unlocked the the stupid
Nyan
Cat song.
Yeah.
Oh man, that one was weird. But no, I've been playing that. I've gotten having fun with that. I've had a whole week of, Michael's truly, honestly sick when he hasn't. I mean, how often have you seen me online this week?
Almost none at all.
Right. You saw me for a few minutes on my iPad, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I haven't really gotten to do much except I watched cartoons. So, oh, and I finally got to see the one episode of Venture Brothers I had been missing.
Oh, good.
The Hispanic Opera.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
All
Venture
right.
Brothers is so awesome.
Okay. Before we start going into all of this, let's go ahead and wrap up this episode. We can talk about this in the post-show. So, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this week. We'll be back here again next
I'm glad
Sunday.
to be back.
Yes, so glad that Michael is back again. Maybe we'll get Nikki in in the future as well.
When she's not sick.
When she's not sick, yes. So, yeah, stay tuned for post-show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And for Farmer Mother's Basement, I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.